Welcome to the 5 at 5 from the Mikel Arteta derby, Arsenal versus Everton. And finally, we've managed to overcome an Everton team at Goodison Park for the first time in years. And this is an Everton team that frankly is pretty poor and has been pretty damn poor for a long time now. So it's a relief that we've finally managed to go and beat them at their ground. Even though it was a 1-0, nothing super impressive, just a very mature, sensible performance, exactly what this game needed. Let's get into my 5 at 5 from Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Number 1, and I have to start on this straight away, Arsenal's set-piece strategy. Absolutely beautiful. If you're watching that game and you see Arsenal going short repeatedly, you realise that wasn't just sort of a deciding in the moment sort of thing. Obviously, the players, even though there's a lot of work done on set pieces, if they see an opportunity to go short and move it quickly, they can obviously do that. This was not that. It was consistently attempted, and Arsenal also seemed to take quite a while at corners as well. It seemed like the whole thing was to disrupt the way Everton would have prepared to defend from corners in this game. Now, with Arsenal having the vast majority of possession and having the ball in, Everton's third for the majority of the game, it was great to see that Arsenal were focusing more on how to take advantage of attacking corners than us always focusing on defensive corners. And the set piece coach, Nicholas over at Arsenal, has done a fantastic job. Going short, taking a long time for corners, really unsettled Everton's defensive unit from set pieces. And when you look at Everton's two centre-backs and their two central midfielders, they're 6'5", 6'5", 6'1", and 6 foot. Like, we were never going to beat them in the air with the likes of Martinelli, Saka, and Nketiah. It was just never going to happen. And also, what was important was that Arteta didn't play Kai Havertz. To me, that told me instantly he's not going for the physical battle and he's not going for the aerial battle. And it was really sweet that set piece strategy was what got us our goal. Like, don't get me wrong, unbelievable finish from Leandro Trossard. I'm making it sound like, because of the set pieces, it was a given. It wasn't a given. We still had to have a phenomenal finish, and I'll talk about that later. But very well played Arsenal. Respecting your opponent's abilities, their strengths in certain areas, and adapting your game for that, I thought was a brilliant move from Arsenal and the set-piece coach, and credit where it's due for that. Number 2, that Trossard goal. Honestly, the more I watch it, every single time I watch it, it gets better and better. You know that when you're shooting with the ball coming across your body on the inside of your left foot, and Trossard's basically two-footed, but I think actually his preference might be his right. I mean, that's a really hard skill to get right. You almost got to slice it so it goes away from the keeper. And when you're slicing it, it's so easy to get it wrong. A little bit too much and it will start angling away from goal. You see often players try that. The ball go out for a throw on. It's because of the nature of the shot and how you have to strike that ball in order to beat the keeper. That if you get it wrong, sometimes it can look really bad. And often, players don't get it right and it's an easy save for the keeper. It's just got to be perfect, and it absolutely was, post and in. When I saw Trossard score that goal, I thought to myself, I wonder what the XG was on that, because it really wasn't easy. And look, here's the answer on your screens right now, 0.05 XG. An unbelievable goal from Leandro Trossard. Who knows how valuable that goal will be, those 3 points will be at the end of the season. Beautiful finish. Number 3, clean sheet. Lovely to see Arsenal keep a clean sheet, because you know what? Away from home, our clean sheet record is actually pretty damn good. We've kept 12 clean sheets away from home in the Premier League since the start of last season, which is 5 more than any other team. Typically, Man City are among the teams that are second with 7 clean sheets, but Arsenal away from home really do have that game management down to a T, and we know how to shut teams out. But at home, it's a different story. We're not keeping enough clean sheets at home. 3 home games so far this season in the Premier League, and really some games where you'd expect us to have kept a clean sheet. Not exactly the best opposition in the world, but we haven't been able to keep a clean sheet in the 3 home games we've had so far this season. Now, I am going to talk to you about the North London derby later on, but I'm hoping our first clean sheet in the Premier League comes in that game because, boy, we cannot afford to lose or even draw that game. We can't give Tottenham a sniff. Hopefully, we can shore up our defence a little bit at home. But it is worth noting that so far this season, we've only had one home game with what I regard as our best back four, which is what we played with last season. And that was the 3-1 win against Man United. We played that again against Everton, and obviously we kept a clean sheet. So if it's that same back four that I think is Arsenal's best option at the back, hopefully we get that clean sheet in the bag and can hopefully start making some more clean sheets at home rather than just away from home. Number 4, Arteta's goalkeeper plan. This one, I have to admit, surprised me. So, Mikel Arteta naturally was asked a lot of questions about why he chose David Raya over Aaron Ramsdale. Now, I'm surprised by it. I never would have thought that he'd go and make that change in a game like this, where typically you'd expect Everton, and especially a Sean Dyche Everton, to really test the keeper and be quite physical with the keeper from set pieces, etc. Well, Arsenal managed the game unbelievably well, so fair play to that. David Raya didn't come under that pressure and that scrutiny, which I think is probably not what you want for your first game if it ends up being like that. Anyway, he got away with that because Arsenal was so good in terms of managing the game, not giving away stupid free kicks, etc. But the fact that Ramsdale was dropped, I wonder what it is. Who knows? It could be anything. It could be that Aaron Ramsdale really wanted to play the Champions League game, and Arteta said, fine, if you want to do that, then I'll put David Raya in for the Premier League game because I would have given him the Champions League. Who the hell knows? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes and how Arteta's keeping all the players happy, but it'll be very interesting to see who plays Champions League and who plays the North London derby. But what has shocked me is what Arteta said about what he might do in future, and that is to make in-game goalkeeping substitutions. Now, I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you see any point to this whatsoever? We've seen it in World Cups, for example, where a goalkeeper will come on right at the end of extra time because they're there to be that penalty specialist, and it's almost like, it gets in the mind of the attackers maybe that, oh my God, this keeper's come in, especially to say penalties, he must be really good, and maybe it makes them want to find the corner even more, and potentially they might get it off target. I get all of that psychology, but what benefit is there to make in-game changes from your goalkeepers? What are we going to get out of taking Ramsdale off and putting Raya on in the middle of a Premier League game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I, for one, think, listen, that's probably experimenting a little bit too much. I'm not really seeing the benefit. Number 5, North London derby predictions. Look, Arsenal and Tottenham locked in the upper part of the Premier League table on 13 points. Neither of the teams have lost a game. Arsenal have scored 9, Tottenham have scored 13. Arsenal have conceded 4, Tottenham have conceded 5. So there you have Tottenham on goal difference ahead of Arsenal. If we win 2-0, not only our goal difference gets corrected with them, but we'll be 3 points ahead of them. Needs to go and be done. And that's my prediction, 2-0 to the Arsenal. What are your predictions and how do you see the game going? I personally, even though Tottenham, obviously they've had a good start to the season, I don't think they've been that impressive. And honestly, I don't think it's sustainable. I hope I'm right, but I think this game has got to be Arsenal's. When you look back at recent years, Arsenal at home in the North London derby, we've got a good record. I don't see Tottenham taking 3 points. At best, I think they can hope for 1. Now, I'll look very silly if they do, but hey, I won't care about that. I'll be crying about the result, never mind my prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think the prediction is. Anyone who gets it right, give me a shout out and I'll give you a little present. Thank you very much for watching the 5 at 5. And if you haven't already, get me to 36k by hitting subscribe below. I will see you after the PSV game. Champions League nights are back at the Arsenal, baby. It's been way too long. Hopefully we get back on track with a win and then on to the big North London derby. Anyway, enjoy PSV, enjoy Champions League. I'll see you after that. Take care.